Nutrition. Here are a few simple tips that you can use, live by, to help enhance your weight loss program. And keep in mind, most of the things that I go over are simple, small habitual changes that you need to make in your life to help speed up the fat loss process. Because most people are interested, they're interested in reducing their body fat. Number one, and I think it's one of the most important things, is to make sure you eat small, frequent meals. Now, what does that mean, small? Because I think in our country we have a portion distortion, right? So, small meal would be, instead of eating the quesadilla for 2,200 calories in one sitting, it would be eating a third of it if you're at the restaurant, or at least half of it. Eat every 2 to 3 hours, so that's 5 meals a day. Now, it's not difficult to eat 5 meals a day if you eat your normal breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then add 2 small meals in between those meals. Then you're up to 5. It's really a simple process. The benefit of having 5 meals a day is your body's like a furnace. You want to keep that furnace burning hot. So if you put too many logs on that fire, you're going to suffocate it. That fire's going to go out. But if you forget to put a log on, if you forget to eat a meal, then your metabolism is also going to go out. That fire is going to go out. So it has to be a perfect, happy medium. You have to keep putting logs on that fire. So number one, most importantly, eat small, frequent meals, at least 5 to 6 per day. The second one is always eat breakfast. If you're eating breakfast, if you're not eating breakfast, you're 400% more likely to become obese. Absolutely. 400% more likely. Breakfast is the key. Why? What is breakfast? Let's break it up. Break it to fast. You've been sleeping all night long, so you're breaking the fast. It's very important because it takes an enormous amount of energy to digest our food. As you consume your breakfast the first thing in the morning, it's like you're running outside. Your body is having to break down that food, transport it, all right, and allow your body to use it as chemical energy. So important to eat breakfast, plus it's going to wake you up. It's going to make you feel better because especially carbohydrates, good carbohydrates in the morning, it's your brain food. It's going to get you going. You don't want to skip meals. Here is something you want to avoid because there are no excuses in skipping meals. If you prepare your meals, you have them with you all day long, the night before, you won't be a victim of skipping meals. If you skip, then you have a tendency to eat bigger portions the next meal. You also have a tendency to stop in traffic at McDonald's, Sonic, Whataburger, the gas station, convenience stores, all places with really healthy food, right? Obviously not. Don't skip your meals. If you prepare them in advance, then you're going to alleviate that problem. Reduce your carb intake as the day progresses. Now, what kind of foods are carbohydrates? Your rice, pastas, breads, potatoes, those types of starchy carbs are the kind of carbs that I want you to reduce towards bedtime. Because what happens is your circadian rhythm, or your body's natural sleep process, sleep pattern, it says, okay, this person's about to go to sleep in about 4 hours, so we got to start slowing down the metabolism so we can get a good night's rest. In doing that, you're burning less calories. So if you eat and you consume a really big meal right before you go to bed, then literally you're not going to burn off any of that energy, and your body is going to naturally store it. Protein. Protein is one of the 3 macronutrients that you need to make sure that you're consuming every single day. Protein has a lot of benefits. I'm going to keep it very simple tonight. Protein, literally, we need to help obviously rebuild our muscle tissue while we're working out. But mainly protein is important because if you don't have enough protein, your body will go into what's called muscle atrophy, or it will break down your muscles to use as energy. So we want to make sure that our body has plenty of protein. White foods, if it's white, it ain't right. Absolutely. White foods are horrible. White foods are what we want to avoid. Here are a few examples. White refined sugar, white bread, white pasta, white rice. All right? Those types of food we want to replace with healthier whole grain alternatives. Brown alternatives, if you will. Brown rice, whole grain pasta, whole grain bread. Our fats. Our society has evolved into this. We got to cut the fats out of our diet. Fats can be good, and fats should be part of a healthy diet. But good fats. You have two bad fats and two healthy fats. Your healthy fats are your poly and mono unsaturated fats. Those you'll find in your seafood, your omega-3 fish oils, your olive oil, nuts and berries have healthy fats in them, avocados. Your bad fats come from your animal products, such as your meats, your fatty cut of meat. That's the saturated fat. Your steaks, pork, all that nasty bacon, all that's nasty saturated fat. We want to stay away from the saturated fats and stay away from the other fats that are called trans fats. Trans fats are what grocery store manufacturers love. They love to load their products up with trans fats because trans fats help increase the shelf life of their products, their food, which in turn puts money in their pocket. Now, trans fats were originated by taking hydrogen and, say, vegetable oil, and they wanted to create a new fat or a new source that's going to help increase the shelf life. Ultimately, it has to be solid at room temperature, so their products aren't gooey. Well, the problem is since they're man-made, our bodies can't process them. So trans fats, also known as, excuse me, I'm drawing a blank here. Trans fats, also known as partially hydrogenated oils. That's what you want to make sure we avoid. Vegetables, green to go. I can't express to you how important it is to have vegetables. Vegetables give you so many different benefits. Number one being fiber. They're full of water. What is the benefit of fiber? Helps keep you regular, absolutely. It also has a satiating factor, which means it helps keep you full longer. Fiber is extremely beneficial. I'll give you some examples of some good vegetables, good proteins, some good carbohydrates in a little bit. You want to limit the amount of sugar. And I've already touched on that a little bit, but sugar, if you can cut out your diet, that's ideal. But most people can't cut it out of their diet. Most people aren't going to cut it out of their diet. So you have to be very conscious to make a huge shift and to literally monitor every little bit of sugar that you're taking in if you're trying to lose body fat. Water a day. How much water should we have a day? We've heard a gallon. We've heard a gallon and a half. 8 glasses of water. It's important to have, say, 6 to 8 glasses of water a day if you can. But at least, above all else, have 6 to 8 glasses of water-based liquid. All right? Something that's like, say, natural lemonade, tea. It's all made with water. It's predominantly water. Crystal Light. There's no sugar in it. If you don't have a fiber supplement that you're taking, I would definitely suggest a fiber supplement. And I'll tell you, at Walmart you can get it for like $5 a bottle. It's going to help, especially if you're someone who goes through the fast food restaurants. If you go through those are all processed foods. All right, processed foods are all stripped from their nutrients. They have absolutely no fiber in them at all. So fiber as a dietary supplement is something I would definitely suggest. The number one rule, if it's not simple, it's not easy for you, then you're not going to stick to it. If you have this really dynamic, huge program, I'm going to eat this for breakfast, I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to cook this big meal, I'm going to have that for lunch, that's not going to work. It may work for a day or two, but it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to continue to do. Keep it simple. Make it work for your lifestyle. There's so many different foods, especially the foods that I consume, that are literally take me less than 2 minutes to cook. You want a healthy meal, a little side salad, a piece of fish, and some brown rice. Perfect meal. For breakfast, some oatmeal, whole grain oats, oatmeal, 2-3 eggs, and a glass of water. Perfect. If you stress over the details, then ultimately, if you stress over the details, you're just going to add more stress to your body, which releases natural hormones in your body that hold on to our body fat. cortisol. So make sure that you breathe. That's when they take yoga classes. People work on breathing after a workout, the cool down. Lots and lots of breathing. It gets oxygen to the brain, makes you feel better. The 5 meal a day plan. So many people have a problem implementing that into their diet. So Brian, how long have you been eating your 5 meals a day plan?
Since I started the program.
Since you started the program, good. Good. And 5 meals a day, do you ever feel hungry?
No.
You don't. You shouldn't feel hungry. All right? You shouldn't have that starving feeling, if you will, because your body knows you're going to eat. However, once you do start and you keep it up, 5 meals a day, you're going to feel really hungry if you skip that meal, because your body's going to get used to it. It's going to expect it. Your brain's going to expect it, and you're going to know when you miss it. How it affects you? Obviously, you're not going to be hungry anymore. You can enjoy a cheat meal every week. And I always give my example. This is how I live, because I try to be realistic in what's going to work for me. And what works for me, obviously this isn't something you have to implement in your life, but what works for me is Sunday morning all the way through Friday afternoon, I eat as healthy as possible. I mean, I try and prepare my foods. I'll bring a piece of grilled chicken, some brown rice, and the next meal I'll have a piece of fish, and say sweet potato, a little side salad, something simple, but they can all be microwaved. I'm always a convenience freak. So if I have that and I'm eating eggs and oatmeal for breakfast, or whole grain toast and eggs, or turkey bacon that you love so much, right? If you have that and you're really, really committed to your diet all week long, then go out and have fun on the weekend. Friday night, you're going to go out with your friends and family anyways. I know my wife and my kids, we're going to go out on Friday night. We're going to be out and about on Saturday, so we're not going to eat as healthy. I'm not going to prepare those meals and take them with me like I do all week. So Friday at 4 p.m., I'm off my schedule, and I go on to having fun and living life schedule. And then I don't come back. I literally have 4 meals where I can do whatever I want. Friday night, Saturday, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever I want, just my 3 meals. And then come Sunday, I'm like fiending to get back onto it because it just feels so unnatural. All right, and then that's something that works for me. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. I'm going to do it anyways. That's kind of what I looked at it and said, if I'm going to do it anyways, I might as well figure out how I can be more, health conscious during the week. You're not going to spend as much time in the kitchen as you think. A lot of people are really worried about spending a lot of time in the kitchen preparing their meals ahead of time. Literally, Uncle Ben's has a little bag of brown rice. All right, and brown rice is like the savior because it's quick, it's lower on the GI index, which we'll get into a little bit later. All right, and that's how your body breaks, how fast your body breaks the carbohydrate down. And literally, you can have 2 meals, grab a brown rice, 2 pieces of chicken, you got your 2 meals. That's all you need to take, most people. Because if you have breakfast at home that morning, you got 2 meals for say 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, and then at 4 p.m. you drive by somewhere, grab you a shake, or if you bring a shaker like this one right here, you mix your protein powder in the shaker with water. You got a 4 o'clock meal, and then the evening meal you can prepare as well. All right. Ultimately, diet comes down to responsibility and your goal. Because if you don't have a reason why it's important to plan your meals the night before, you're not going to do it. And it's the same as exercise. You've got to have your reason, your why behind it. If it's not strong enough, you're not going to do it. So make sure you take responsibility for it.